The flicker of candlelight danced across the untouched slice of chocolate cake, casting long shadows on the linen tablecloth at Rossi's Grill in Midtown Chicago. It was my 28th birthday, a night I'd scraped together from tips at the diner. But the air felt thick, like the calm before a Midwest thunderstorm. Across from me sat my stepfather, Harlan, his calloused hands folded like he was about to deliver a sermon, and my stepmother, Lydia, her manicured nails tapping an impatient rhythm on her wine glass. Beside her, my stepsister, Brooke, 24 and fresh from her gap year in New York, scrolled through her phone with that smug glow she always wore. I, Emily Hayes, had no idea that this ordinary dinner would rip open the scars I'd buried deep, exposing a betrayal that had festered in silence for years. Harlan cleared his throat, his voice low and gravelly, the kind that commanded attention in his construction firm meetings. Emily, darlin', we've got to talk about the trust fund your mama left you. My fork paused midair, the steak suddenly tasting like ash. Mama had passed 5 years ago from cancer, leaving me a modest $150,000 for my nursing school dreams, enough to cover tuition at Northwestern, books, and a shot at becoming a pediatric nurse, helping kids like the ones I'd volunteered with at the local shelter. But after her death, Lydia had stepped in as co-trustee, insisting it was family business and that I'd get it when I was ready. Ready, she'd said, meant after I'd proven myself with real work. So I'd slaved away at double shifts, living in a cramped walk-up in Wrigleyville, while Brooke jetted off to find herself in acting workshops and Broadway auditions. What about it? I asked, my heart pounding a slow, uneasy rhythm. Lydia's smile was tight, like plastic wrap over something rotten. Well, honey, times got tough. The firm's projects dried up during the recession. And Brooke, she had that big opportunity. Opportunity. The word hung there, heavy. I glanced at Brooke, who finally looked up, her eyes darting away. Harlan pulled out his phone, showing a bank app with transfers $75,000 to a New York Performing Arts Academy, $40,000 for living expenses in Manhattan, $20,000 in cash withdrawals, and the rest frittered on incidentals. My stomach twisted. This was my money. Mama's money. For me. The silence stretched, taut as a wire. Lydia reached across the table, her hand cold on mine. We thought you'd understand. Family helps family. But I yanked away, the pieces clicking like a lock tumbling open. All those nights I'd come home bone-tired from the diner, feet blistered, eating cold cereal for dinner because rent ate my paycheck. All while Brooke posted selfies from Times Square, captioning them, "Chasing dreams in the Big Apple, thanks to the stars aligning." Stars. More like my stolen future. The betrayal burned slow, a quiet fire in my chest. Memories flooding back, Lydia's gentle nudges to wait another semester, Harlan's gruff advice that college ain't for everyone, Brooke's casual dismissals of my ambitions as cute but basic. I stood, chair scraping loud in the hushed restaurant, diners glancing our way. You lied. You all lied. Harlan's face hardened. Sit down, Emily. Don't make a scene. But the scene was already made in my mind. A reel of quiet sufferings, the scholarship applications I'd filled out in secret, rejected because I couldn't show need with a trust fund on paper, the therapy sessions I'd skipped to save cash, bottling up the grief over Mama until it festered into insomnia, the boyfriends who'd left because I was too stressed, too broke, and, through it all, their silence, their smiles at holiday dinners, pretending we were a blended family bonded by love, not larceny. Outside in the biting Chicago wind, I paced the parking lot, my old Chevy wheezing like it shared my exhaustion. They followed, Lydia pleading. It was for the greater good. Brooks got real potential, a callback for a Netflix pilot. Harlan added. We raised you after your mama passed. This is how you repay us. Repay. The word ignited something primal. A damming of emotions bursting free. Raised me? You tolerated me. And you stole from me to buy Brooke's spotlight. Brooke finally spoke. Voice sharp. You wouldn't have used it right anyway. Nursing? Please. At least I'm building something real. Her words landed like a slap, echoing the doubts they'd planted subtle digs about my simple goals, while praising Brooke's artistic soul. That night, alone in my apartment with walls thin as paper, the rage simmered. I dug out Mama's old letters, her handwriting urging me to chase healing, not just survival. The trust was gone, siphoned away. But the hurt? It was a living thing, twisting my insides. I couldn't sleep, replaying every overlooked sign, Lydia's new SUV last year, Harlan's golf club membership, Brooke's designer bags gifted by sponsors. They'd built their comforts on my bones, and I'd stayed silent. Loyal, believing in family above all. But loyalty had a price, and mine had been too high. The next morning, coffee bitter on my tongue, I called Aunt Clara Mama's sister, a no-nonsense accountant in Milwaukee who'd always suspected Lydia's motives. Emily, I warned your mama about that woman, she said, her voice crackling over the line. Together. We pieced it together, forged signatures on trust documents. Emails Lydia had sent Harlan pretending I was enrolled, but struggling, even fake report cards to show progress. Clara connected me to her lawyer friend, Rebecca Klein, a bulldog in family fraud cases. This isn't just theft, Rebecca said over Zoom, her eyes narrowing. It's embezzlement. Breach of fiduciary duty. In Illinois. That's prison time, up to 7 years per count. The plan formed slow, deliberate, like nursing a wound before striking back. I gathered evidence quietly, bank statements from Clara's old copies, screenshots of Brooke's lavish posts timestamped against trust withdrawals, my own journals of skipped meals and deferred dreams. The psychological toll weighed heavy, nights waking in sweat, dreaming of Mama's disappointed face, questioning if I'd failed her by trusting too much. But that doubt fueled me, turning silence into strategy. I confronted them one last time at their suburban McMansion, the one with the pool I'd never swum in. Lydia opened the door, makeup flawless but eyes wary. Emily, let's talk like adults. Inside, Harlan nursed a beer. Brooke lounged on the couch. I laid out the folder, proof stacked like accusations. Return it all. Or I sue. Harlan laughed. Dismissive. Sue? With what money? Kid. Lydia tried sympathy. We can pay back some. Over time. But Brooke sneered. You're just jealous. Always have been of my drive. My life. Jealousy. It stung. But it was their projection. Not my truth. I'd been content with my path until they derailed it. Walking out, their denials ringing in my ears, I felt the shift from victim to avenger. The lawsuit filed the next week. A civil claim for $150,000 plus damages for emotional distress and lost wages. Rebecca added criminal referrals to the state's attorney. The media caught wind, a local news piece on family fraud in the heartland, anonymized but damning. Lydia's real estate clients dried up. Harlan's firm lost bids amid whispers of scandal. Brooke's audition stalled. Her connections ghosting her. The depositions were brutal. A slow unraveling. Lydia cracked first, admitting under oath to borrowing for family needs, tears streaming as she claimed desperation after Harlan's business dipped. But emails showed otherwise, lavish vacations planned while I pawned Mama's jewelry for rent. Harlan blustered. Blaming Lydia, she handled the finances. Brooke, pale and shaking, confessed to knowing but not the details, her voice breaking as she described the pressure to succeed. The fear of disappointing her parents. Their unity fractured. Accusations flying, Harlan filed for divorce mid-proceedings. Claiming manipulation, Lydia accused Brooke of demanding the funds. The psychological warfare intensified. Anonymous calls at night. Relatives texting guilt trips, bloods thicker than water. Emily, forgive and forget. But forgiveness? It wasn't an option when the betrayal had carved hollows in my soul. Turning trust into paranoia, joy into suspicion. I saw a therapist now. Paid from savings. Unpacking the trauma of silent suffering, the way I'd internalized their lies as my failings. The isolation of pretending everything was fine. Court day dawned gray. The Cook County building looming like judgment. Witnesses paraded, Clara on Mama's intentions. My diner boss on my grueling shifts. A forensic accountant tracing every dollar to Brooke's NYC rent and headshots. Lydia took the stand. Voice quavering, I loved Emily like my own. But Rebecca shredded her. Revealing hidden accounts in the Caymans, federal territory now. The judge's gavel fell. Guilty on all counts. Lydia got 5 years. Harlan 3 with probation. Brooke 18 months suspended for testimony against them. Assets liquidated, the house. Cars. Harlan's firm sold off. My settlement, $220,000. Covering the original plus pain I'd endured. But victory tasted bittersweet. Watching Lydia led away in cuffs. Her eyes pleading one last time. I felt the cost the family shattered. Brooke's dreams crushed under the weight of her complicity. Harlan reduced to a broken man crashing on his brother's couch. I'd reclaimed my future. Enrolling in nursing school that fall. But the scars remained, nightmares of betrayal. A wariness in new relationships. The echo of silence that had nearly broken me. As I walked the campus paths, stethoscope in my bag, I whispered to Mama's memory, the price of revenge was high. But so was the price of letting thieves walk free. In the end, I chose to heal not just others, but myself from the ruins they'd left behind.